Ami, oyingcwele. Hey,
What's up, my
sensei.
dog?
So now you have another bone to pick with another this
Bones
faction.
to pick, my
Bones
dude.
to pick.
Bones to
Oh,
pick.
so like it's the whole closet of
Yeah, no, we're coming out the closet.
it's a whole graveyard.
Whole graveyard, bro. Yeah. No, look.
Okay. Yeah.
This is MAHLULELI. MAHLULELI is a leader of one of the big factions as well of the Nazareta movement. I think he's a pretty, to be honest with you, I have a lot of respect for him because given the history of the church, just the background for those who don't know, the Nazareta movement was founded by Isaiah Shembe, and then his son, Johannes Galilee Shembe, took over. When he passed away and didn't leave a successor,
Yes.
it became a huge squabble for like, oh, who's supposed to be
So
the
people
leader?
sort of like assumed roles, assumed positions.
Yeah, no, I mean, it became quite hectic. Apparently, people died.
That hectic.
That hectic. So there was a split. The brother taking over versus the son of the person, Kennedy Shembe. Right?
Okay, sure.
So he's a leader that assumed, leadership somewhere down the line from that. Right. So, but one of the things I respect about him is that he acknowledges the fact that this movement has a custodian, has a founder. There's a spirit behind the movement, and there's a need to preserve the integrity of the movement and not, put it to you know what I mean.
Yes.
Especially with the different factional conflicts. Right.
Sure.
So he's constantly calling out to his family members like, guys, let's get together, let's squash the beef, I mean, come on now, let's get together and watch Roots, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
My name is Kunta
Kunta. So I respect that about him.
Yeah.
But it's fundamental, the things that are disappointing. Well, maybe it might work to my favor, but what's fundamental is that if you are going to present yourself as a leader of the congregation, there's some fundamental things that you must be aware of and questions you must be able to ask or answer, rather. And there was a question that was asked by him, but I don't know if you can play the clip. It's a clip that actually...
Let's go through it.
Him in the act.
Caught red-handed.
With the hand in the cookie jar.
Let's
go
play
the clip, bro.
Let's go through this clip. Yeah, man.
Esingathi asibuze okwamanje lebenhle
Mahluleli, ngicela ukubuza imvelaphi yobukhosi emahholweni into iqale kanjani?
Uma uthi imvelaphi yobukhosi ebukholini,
Ngizama ukuthi ngichaza ukuthi ngizwe kuthiwa inkosi yaseginyezini.
Right, you see, that's an interesting question that he was asked. Yeah, so in Zulu, those who don't understand Zulu, is really saying, dude, why, if you look at different congregations or different Bible-holding churches, right, they're all led by either bishops, pastors, reverends, and that type of thing. But the Nazareta movement is strange because they are led by what is called Inkosi. Right. So the question is, why do
you guys call
the leader of the church Inkosi? So here's the question. The question might be like, the founder of the movement, was he Inkosi?
Was he though?
Yeah, was he Inkosi? No. So this is what the leaders of the congregation were supposed to be aware of. The reason why they are presented to the congregation as Inkosi is that they are simply there to warm the seat of a coming king. So
now in this case, understanding what a kingdom is or how kingship works, or
let's look at it.
I think you went in last episodes, you spoke about it a little bit briefly.
Yeah.
So in this sense, how does this work when it comes to church or
precisely? This is kind of the weird thing about the Nazareta movement. I keep calling it a movement because it's technically not a church. Technically,
what is it?
It is a movement. It's really a movement that is preparing a way or a facility for a coming king to be able to be successful. That's essentially what it is.
So you guys are just placeholding for the coming king.
So essentially the leaders are placeholders for the coming king. The congregation are those who are willing or taking a vow to serve a coming king. Understand what I'm saying? What's accumulated by the congregation and the resources and the facilities are preserved for that particular coming king. So now, when he's asked the question, why do AmaNazaretha have a coming? Why do they have inkosi? Is because AmaNazaretha have inkosi because they recognize that their God is a coming king.
So everyone in this movement is sort of okay. I need to put this properly. I know this is maybe
a bit
it's
tricky.
Like, it's quite tricky. It's very complicated. So
it's a trick.
If you guys are preparing way for a coming king, all of you guys who are placeholders in this movement,
the leaders particularly.
What is it? Does it make you guys kings in this?
No,
it's just
you're a placeholder.
Just a placeholder.
You're a placeholder. You're literally warming a seat. I would like to tell you a high school story. When the kids were like grade 8, they called them formies. Right. So the guys who would stay in the hostel, they would have a terrible time because they'd come late to class in the mornings, and the teacher would always ask them, "Why are you guys late in class?" "So I remember we had to warm the seats of our old pots." "What do you mean?" So they literally have to wake up in the morning, sit on the toilet seat that their old pot or their matriculant student would, and warm that seat so that when he comes through and takes the
that's a crazy incident. So basically,
that's who these guys are. I mean, that's the
formies.
No disrespect.
No
disrespect.
Understood.
That's fundamentally they warming it. That's why it is necessary for them to be referred to as inkosi. So the congregation is aware that they are willing to serve a coming king.
But now why not change the terminology? That use of inkosi, because inkosi is the only person that sits on that seat.
Yeah.
Anyone else is sort of like a predecessor of the
not even a predecessor. A seat
warmer. Seat warmer. I'm saying in this sense, there's the predecessors and the successors as well. I mean,
sure.
So now if the successors after this, what happens in this, in terms of the Shamble kind of what do you guys call, how do I place this? If you are the current king right now, right, and you die, how do we choose the next successor?
So, but this is my point I'm trying to make.
Sure.
The point I'm trying to make is that there is a coming king who will remain with us. That's a biblical prophecy. That's why the AmaNazaretha used the Bible. They're basically saying that promised coming king from the Bible is who they call Inkosi Esekphakamile, the one that will come and remain with us. So there really isn't a succession plan. And this is particularly why the successor of the founder didn't leave anybody or didn't actually appoint anyone to succeed him. But that's another story for another day. But I think we're good, right? We're good.
I'm understanding it. I mean, for the rest of us who are going through this journey, going through this, we are learning as we go. You know what I mean?
But I think one fundamental thing that people need to understand: a king is not a person that is a priest. Very important for people to notice. So while I'm mentioning this now, and I'm saying to MAHLULELI, please move from my seat, because I'm that coming king, and the king is a person that is a custodian of an economy. So the promise of this coming king is that when he comes, he's going to implement what we call a new economy. What they call umbuso.
This is basically when Noah, after building the ark, when God flooded the earth, and then new life had to begin. So they're coming back. So that's the answer to the question that MAHLULELI should have answered. And I think right now there's a form that he will need to sign and acknowledge that the founder of the Zulu social experiment is that coming king. He's going to have to say it. He's going to have to say it. He knows. He's not that coming king. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's all good. All good. I picked my thoughts. I mean, yeah.